to talk to you guys today is I want to talk to you guys about preparation. Because you guys are getting to that age where sports isn't just where you kind of show up and everybody just high-fives each other all the time. Sports start to mean something. You want to win. You want to make the team. And you guys are getting to that age where sports starts to shape the rest of your life. It may help you go to college. It may help you meet people that will help your career someday. So I'm going to tell you a little story about that gets you in that idea of preparation. Back where I went to school, I went to Oregon State University in Corvallis, and it's a big lumber town. Cut down trees, and that's kind of their big thing. So every year they have a competition. It's a tree cutting competition. So all the loggers from all over come around, and they have competitions on how fast they can chop up trees and cut down trees and climb trees. This all big competition. So they all came to Corvallis one year, and it's all like 20-something-year-old, studs. They're all jacked and everything. They come out and they got big saws and they got axes and they're doing this crazy stuff. Well, they come into registration. There's a 40-year-old guy that shows up to registration. This happened 12 years ago. And he shows up, he said, I want to register, and they kind of laugh at him like, dude, everyone else is like 20, you're like 40, you don't have a chance. So the guy said, no, I'm going to do it. He's got a saw over his shoulder. So he enters in the competition where they take a huge log, one of those logs that's this big around, and they lay it down, and what you do is you go down and you saw through the log. And you have to saw 12-inch chunks, and then you go over, you saw through the log, then you go over, you saw through the log. And they make you go for 3 hours. And they see how many chunks you can saw, if you can get to the whole tree. And they see, at the end, they see how many chunks you were able to saw through, and then that's the winner. It's kind of an endurance competition. So they go, and all these studs step up to the competition. They step up, and they got their saws going. So the buzzer rings, they say, go. So everyone starts going, and the 40-year-old guy starts going. Well, every 30 minutes, the 40-year-old guy would put his saw over his shoulder, and he'd just disappear. He'd be gone for like 10 minutes. And the rest of these guys are just feverishly going. They're going and cutting. They're like, this guy's idiot's disappearing. He's losing time. So you're going through, and the guy would come back, and he'd go back and go back. Every 30 minutes, he disappears. 3 hours. So they get to the end. They're like, okay, the final buzzer rings. Hey, let's mount them up. Let's see who's got what. Let's count how many sections of log they cut. So they go up to the first stud. They look at it. He cut 15 sections of this log with this saw. Tied the record. Most they'd ever seen is 15. The next guy goes. He's got 17 sections. Breaks the record. Everyone cheers. The guy thinks he's got the medal. Next guy goes in. He had below like 16. He's happy. You get to the 40-year-old guy. He had 21 sections of the log cut. And so everyone was like, what's going on? What's the deal? How did you do that? What were you doing when you disappeared? What do you think he was doing when he disappeared? He was sharpening his saw. So let's think about that for a second. You guys have your friends at school and you have your teammates, and they just show up to practice, right? They go live their life, they do their thing, they show up to practice. Okay, I'm a basketball player now, I'm a soccer player now, I'm a lacrosse player now, and then I'm going to go home and play video games and do whatever. What would have happened if every time you did something, you thought like you were sharpening your saw? When you guys come to Varsity Speed Academy, you're sharpening your saw. You're not just going through it, because you know what? You just show up to practice. Oh, I'm here, coach. I'm going to do stuff while I'm at practice. It's not sharpening your saw. That's just like the guys that just kept hacking away at it. So when you guys take some time to get sharper, your whole athletic career, your whole school career, your whole life, what would have happened if you took those times always to sharpen your saw? Because the most successful people in the world, they're always sharpening their saw. The most successful people in the world don't just be like, oh, I invented the computer. I invented, the PC. Bill Gates didn't just invent the computer and go retire on an island in the Bahamas. Constantly sharpening his saw. So if you guys constantly think about that, how can I get better? Yeah, I had a great game, but how could I make that game better? Yeah, I got a B on that test. How could I get an A? Yeah, I get along with my family, but how could I be a good person? Yeah, I got some friends, but how can I be a better friend? Because if you guys do that forever, you're going to be one of those most successful people. Because successful people in the world, you know what they do? They just do hard stuff. Because sharpening your saw is hard. Because that Xbox calls to you and you go home. Your friends that want to just go and screw around, and you got to have fun, go with your friends. But sometimes it's time to work, and people want to screw around. It's really hard not to screw around and get to work. But you know what? The difference between someone who's successful and someone who's not, a successful person does hard stuff. That's the simplicity of it. That's how easy it is. If you want to be successful, do hard stuff, because other people won't. And guess what? If you do stuff other people don't do, you're going to be ahead. So I want you guys to think about that in the weeks to come, and you guys that are keeping coming, and how much more could you put in? How much more could you sharpen your saw every single day? When you get out of bed in the morning, do you just get up and be like, hey, I'm going to put my clothes on and show up? Or you say, you know what, today I'm going to get better somehow. I'm going to sharpen my saw somehow. And then you think about ways that you can sharpen your saw. I get up really early in the morning every morning, and I make a list while I'm eating breakfast. Things I need to do that day to improve what I'm working on. Make a list right there. It's actually easy. I'm eating breakfast. God, what if you did that? If you started, I was 30 years old before I started doing that. Think about everything I missed out on. If you guys could start thinking about that now, you guys will be millionaires by the time you're 30 years old. All right? So great job. Keep it up. Sharpen your saw every day. Be humble and be hungry. You know, we talk about it all the time. Be humble, be hungry. That means that don't be the TOs. Don't be the people that are out there flashing. But every day you're hungry for more. Be good, but always want more. Great job, guys. Give yourselves a hand.